Cool. Okay. The only thing you couldn't let me know is the audio okay? Okay. There we go. Okay, so I am streaming the Wickie development. Hurrah! I wonder if I could stream to. Of course I can. Well, there's me in the corner. A bit like Michael Stipe. Okay, so I want to go to the Wiki. Because I've got things to do. Including a few struts. For this is probably a job for paper, not a whiteboard, because the whiteboard's too big. Paper. Oh, look at that. Now I'm live on my channel. It's marvellous news. Okay, so hello everybody if you're watching this, and if you're hearing me, that's cool. I'm working today on some more work to do with PlotDirector. I've got a feeling PlotDirector's development is going to take a while. There's a lot to do, but for the minute. So I've got to work out exactly what it is I need PlotDirector to be doing, and that way I can add the new features to it. But the good thing is the PlotDirector is a centralized kind of management tool for everything that's going to be running inside of the game. Now I realise I'm talking to nobody. However, once this is loaded anyway, as you can see it takes a little while. Oh, fly piece. Fly piece. Right. Cancel. Now, my mouse cable is in no way long enough for some reason. Just noticed that. Okay, so I'm going to go into the Wiki primary level. This is where I'm working from now. And let's see, so hello, Malin. Right, need a pen. This little blue felt tip looks like it'll be the daddy. Hello, viewer. How are you? I hope you like our new look and layout. It is shiny and fresh and new, just like you are. If you chat, I will see your chat. I'd say click the bell, like and subscribe, but no one ever does. Right, stretch my neck. Okay, so the PlotDirector. So what do I need it to do? Well, I need it to read when I have talked to people like this. Okay, now that is their PlotDirector references. So my NPCs are sending out my PlotDirector reference. Like so. Okay. So what I need to do is I need to read my PlotDirector reference. So what's going to happen? Pardon me. God, I'm so yawny today. Right. Okay, so at the moment, until otherwise, by the way, this is not going to be the most fascinating stream you've ever listened to in your life. You may get bored. Okay, the hard thing for this is yesterday I made myself completely, you know when you get overwhelmed with stuff, and my brain literally just shut down and stopped working. So what I've got to do is I've got to take it slowly. Okay, so anyway, if we set our speed, and I want to make sure I'm inside D1, because D1 is the streaming level that is here to contain all of our stuff. Okay. So, if I come down here, you can see that this is my interaction with Malin. Now, what I need to do is, well, over here we should see, this is probably my old NPC system. Yeah, it is. So I'm going to delete that. And instead, I want to go to my blueprints, and here's BP, my NPC. Should be the one that I need. Yep, there it is. PlotDirector reference is stored inside of it. Now, it's a damn shame that the thing moves the way it does, but never mind. Put it there. Okay, now the materials in this are very out of date, so let's go to our NPC standees, materials, and we want this one, which is H1, showing that Monsieur Malin is happy. Very important. Okay, so now we have our happy Malin. What I need to do next is ensure that his material is the correct one. Certainly seems to be, so that's good news. I can also check this by going into my parameter system. Doing a quick check. Yep, that's fine. Okay, save. Now, here we have the PlotDirector reference. So what happens is that will send out a PlotDirector reference of 1 whenever it goes. Okay. Now, what I need to have really is I need my persistence level to have the blueprint. So I'm going to go down to my blueprints, and here's my PlotDirector, okay, which currently looks like a box for various reasons. Now over here I'm going to go to my persistent level and drag BP PlotDirector into it. Okay, and it is very visible for the moment. Now in here we have dev mode, which I'll turn on. If I can't see your chat, I do apologise. I am very, one of them things. Okay, so with the dev mode in, thanks Alan, and I click play, apart from the cool music, come on, there, so we can see it's running, and that's our dev mode event. Okay, what I could also do is I might stick a widget in the top left just so that we can monitor it. Now PlotDirector reference it's sending out will be 1, so if I do a quick play, it doesn't matter which dialogue it's kicking in at the minute. As long as once I step away it turns to a 1. That's it. Okay, now if I move Monsieur Malin back just a wee bit, just to make it easier for us to get around him, and that way we've already gone past the torch, which will have probably helped ourselves too anyway. So we know that his dialogue is going to go okay. So now what I need to do is come down to my blueprints for my dialogues, and where did I put it? BBC data, here it is. So on the DT dialogue main, and you can see here I've got scripts. So we're going to run Malin C1L1 on this. So if I come down here and go to Malin C1L1. Okay, so what will happen is this will... Oh, thank you, Alan. Much appreciated. Really appreciate it. Okay, so what will happen is... when I now have finished talking to Malin, okay, Malin communicates with the PlotDirector, let us know by sending out an index response that we're going to index response 1. So 1 is going to be, in our case, you know, everything's fine, everything's clear. So if I go to my Google Chrome and go into my docs, because I store a document based on what I need for my director. Okay, and over here, it's here by the way, just in case you're wondering. Oh shit, closed all my windows. That was stupid of me. That goes back. 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 That probably goes back. And where did I put my Streamlabs OBS? There. Okay, job done. Okay, so sorry about that, minor confusion. Okay, so this means I can now start working on my PlotDirector reference. So I have a document here which you can't see, but it's just a bit higher than the window you're looking at now. And this is going to be my so 1. And 1 is, let me see. So 1 clears talking to Malin on day 1 on the key. Okay, so we've talked to Malin, day 1 on the key. What are we going to do? Well, we're going to go over here because Malin's already told us to, and we're going to go and pick up this, okay, which is our jerry can. When we pick it up, we can also call an action based on that, and then we're going to go up here with our jerry can, and we're going to start up the engine room here. Okay, so we're going to start the Jenny. When we start the generator, we can also ask the generator to send a signal if we want to. Okay, again, we can use the same kind of format. So at the minute, our BP generator, as you can see, it's got like needs fuel and all this kind of thing, right? So when it needs fuel, I'll click that on. But either way, when we turn it on and it activates stuff, what we can then do is, if I just open the blueprint, after it's ran all of its startup stuff, we can also tell it to reference the PlotDirector and add some new IDs there as well. So let me see if I just... So as you can see, we've set here that the generator is turned on by casting into the game instance, and it's setting it in WS store 1. Okay, so I already have that. I've got that set from yesterday. Now, working storage store 1. So what I need to do is make an index for that. WS store 1 is our key, is the generator on. Okay, so at all times now we can monitor and check whether the generator's on or not. Okay, now that we have that and they're all going to the PlotDirector can then send out requests or whatever else it is we need. Okay, so as we leave this place, okay, what we'd like to do really is do a little bit of checking. So we're going to come out of here, and what we can do is basically when the player comes up here and into our lovely building up here, we can then set a few variables depending on what it is that we're doing. So if we come up here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a collision box, and the collision box is going to set an ID whenever we go through it, and this is going to be a part of my director. Okay, so if I go into my PlotDirector over here, okay, so if I make a new blueprint class, and my common class is going to be an actor, and it's BP PlotDirector, and then we'll call this a actually no, I don't need to monitor fuel, I just need to make sure that fuel's being put in it, because those giant tanks are supposedly there to actually set the generator to continue running. What happens is the little tanks, they're basically as a manual primer for the generator, because some older generators required you to, I don't know if you've seen it with like cars, you have to put fuel in the carburetor and then kick it off basically. It's one of them weird things. Right, sorry about that, I was just answering a message. Anyway, so this is going to be our PlotDirector, and let me see, we'll call this PA. Okay, so this is our PlotDirector PA. Because, you know, a PlotDirector PA presumably is going to be a personal assistant to the director. Now, the PlotDirector PA is going to talk to the central PlotDirector blueprint here, and it's going to send things to it. So if I go to BP PlotDirector PA just here, and this is going to be a box collision, okay, and at the minute, as you can see, the box extents out fairly small. Now I'm going to drag this down and work on it. So if I put that there, we can see just how tiny that box is. Okay, because it's important that we position and size this box accordingly. Now, what I need to do is I need to put some basic code into this first. So, for the code that's going inside of the blueprint, if I go into the construction script here, okay, we're going to be working on some things like bounding box height or area or size or whatever. So we'll call this PA width, and PA width is going to be a bool, so a float, sorry, not a bool, and we'll give it a default of 50. Okay, compile, save. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to duplicate them twice, so width, and then this one will be PA length, and this will be PA height. Okay, which I've spelled wrong. I before E except after C. PA height. No, I was wrong. There we go. E before C except after D. Now then, with these three done, these local variables, I didn't want local variables. I don't know why I've made them as local ones. I want them as just variables. So PA height, PA width, PA height, width, depth, width, other width. God, I forgot what it's called, dude. Anyone in chat, just shout out. My memory bad. Wide, high, deep, depth. Right. So for all these three are going to be all related, and compile. And for their defaults, let's put 50. I'm going to be doing a little bit of maths in a minute. Not so much maths that you're going to mess yourself, but a little bit of maths nonetheless. Alright, so just warning you. compile, save. Well, you're not doing maths, I'm doing maths. Okay, so construction script. So let's get these three little fellas here, and these are going to affect our boundary. So let's drag in our boundary here. Okay, and first thing I want to do is set its relative rotation location. Sorry, set location, and it's going to be set relative to our default scene route. Now if I connect that to there, and what I want to do is for our new location I'm going to split. So I split my structure pin, and I'm interested in my Z. So that will be my height. So if I get my PA height, and I'm going to divide it, so float divisible by a float by 2. What the hell was that? Actually sounded like my... No, but you get to see my excellent warm trousers that I'm wearing. That's a good point. There we go, real trousers. Look at that. Hey, hey, hey. Right. So we're going to divide this by 2. Okay. And then we're going to ask it to set its new location that high. Now, what we're also going to do is we're going to set the size of our boundary. Okay, so box extent. So set box extent for its boundary. Hello, tiny dog. Are you making woofing sounds? Do you want to come and sit next to me? I know you sometimes get lonely. Come on. Come on. You come and sit here. Come on. Who's a clever boy? Yes, you are. There's a clever boy. Who's a clever puppy? You are. Okay, so let's go into here. And always update your overlaps. So split structural pin. Pretty sure you can see how this works. Most code is fairly self-explanatory inside of Unreal Engine, so put that there. Okay, so height is going to be the extent of Z, and then the other ones, width will be probably X, and depth will be that one. So there we go, depth. So these three feed into there and compile. Now, when I do that and save, I can see that dividing PA height has done relatively little. There. So if I don't divide PA height by anything, and instead just feed it straight into the new location Z, that actually does a much better job of it. So there we go, compile. Right, so I'll put a comment around this. Okay, and this sets up the boundary of the container. Or collision, or whatever. Okay, compile, save. And the whole point of that is now that if this is over here, I can then adjust it exactly so that it's going to be whatever I need at the time. Okay, so when it's placed in my scene. Oh god, tiny bit sick. Okay, so come back over here and go to my event graph. Now then, on event actor begin overlap, there's a couple of things I'm going to have to do here. Okay, so I need to cast to my BP game mode. That's one of the first things I'm going to do. So cast to BP game mode. Okay, and for my object coming into this, I'm going to get my game mode. So what I'm doing is I'm reading my game mode, I'm casting to the blueprint game mode, and then I'm going to retrieve some data from this. Okay, now what I want to retrieve as BP game mode, well, that depends. So because I'm storing a lot of information inside of my BP game mode. As BP game mode. So what information do I want my box to send to my PlotDirector? Okay, so I'm going to want, by the way, I've got a piece of paper here, you can't see it, I'm sorry, I might put a mirror here just so you can see my lovely messy desk. Okay, but if I want my cube, okay, to send a signal to my PlotDirector, this is exactly how my notes look. What message is it going to send? Well, it's going to send a trigger warning, okay, to say it's been here, because that's its only job, to detect that someone's been here and then send a signal. So what we need to do is send a lock. So we'll call it a PA lock ID. Okay, so this is now going to send a PA lock ID depending on which of these it is, etc, etc, etc. So let's go to variables, and oops, did not want to set up a new variable, I'll just delete that for a minute. So firstly I want to categorize these, so we're going to call these plot, we're going to call these PA settings. Okay, now I want to make sure that all of these things are in our PA settings. There we are. Sorry if you can't see everything I'm doing. I know I used to have another screen up here, but it just doesn't show very well. We only stream at a certain resolution. Okay, so now that I've got that, under PA settings I am also going to add, and this will be my PA lock ID. Okay, and this is going to be a public one as well, and I'll put that in the correct category, so I can do that over here. And this is an integer. Okay, so compile and save. It's really important that we have an integer for this. Okay, so PA lock ID, and what we can also do is maybe store a note. Okay, so PA lock note. So add a variable, and this will be PA underscore lock, well, PA location note. And this is really, the PA location note is really for my benefit, okay, so that I know where I am, where I'm going to, etc, etc, etc. Now this should be a string. Compile and save, and in here I could put note, this is the location. Okay, so this is our personal assistant location. It's keeping an eye out constantly for where the actor is. If the actor crosses its boundary, it sends out its PA location ID to let us know that. Now this means that we're not tied to or bound to our level blueprint. Okay, we can think outside of that, which means we can do a lot more. So I know you're thinking, well, I can use my level blueprint. Yeah, you can, but I'm not going to. Right, this is much easier, trust me. Modular works great. Hopefully, maybe it won't, who knows, it's me doing it. Okay, so we've cast to our BP game mode. So what I'm going to do is just do a quick cast to game mode, just so that I know what my code does. I'll comment it for me. Okay, next I come over here, dev mode. Now I do want to check if we're in dev mode or not. Okay, because if we're in dev mode, then, well, this is already in dev mode, so this is going to print the string. Okay, so I need to send some stuff to my PlotDirector. So as BP game mode, blah blah blah. So let's open up BP game mode. So I'll come to FPS game and blueprints, system, and I want to go to BP game mode. And all BP game mode is really is just a big collection of these. Okay. Now I'm going to put this into the PlotDirector category, so that I know where all my PlotDirector stuff is. Okay, inside PlotDirector now I can add a second variable. Okay, and this is going to be my working storage for PlotDirector PA. Okay, so the PA keeps my location. That's its job. It wants to know where I am, and then it's going to try and work it out from there. Now this is an integer. Compile and save. Turn that on. And then another thing I'm going to add to this is maybe WS PlotDirector notes. Okay, so this is anything else that's been passed across to me by the system. Okay, so compile and save. Right, so with these being nice and public now, what I can do is I can send some notes over from my PlotDirector PA. So compile and save. So what am I going to send to this? Well, I've got 3 bits of data here. I've got my PA lock ID, okay, which I'll get, and I've got my PA location name, which I'll get. So as soon as I put these into here and pop them up here, what I need to do now is, as BP game mode, I'm going to start casting information to it. So I'm going to want, let me see, WS PlotDirector. So as BP game mode, cast to game mode. Am I doing this correctly? I think so. So well, there's get WS plot, and I should have set as well. Set WS PlotDirector PA. So this is going to set the value now in game mode of my PA location ID. I'll move that along just a teeny bit, and then after this I'm going to set my PlotDirector notes as well. Okay, now my PlotDirector notes are only really any use if I'm doing my dev mode, you know, where I can actually see what's happening, but that's just for my benefit, nothing else. So PA lock ID, where's the other one gone? There it is, location name. Now, director notes, currently it's expecting an integer. So let me see, I'm going to change PlotDirector notes here to string. And compile. There, and now these two will line up. Okay, so compile and save. Now what I can do is, and I know this isn't exactly pretty gorgeous, amazing looking game stuff, but it has to be done. So with these, I'm going to put a comment around and write location and notes to game mode to send to PlotDirector. Okay, so it's just again so that I know exactly what is happening. Compile and save. Okay, so now if I go down to PlotDirector, this is our development logging again. So we've just printed in the string, blah blah blah. Now what I might do as well is get some more information from this. So as BP game mode I can also get where we are if I need to. I think I'll do that. So because we're in dev mode anyway, and this is the dev mode branch. So let me see, I'll just put an extra node in there just so I can split it, and let's have WS, and I want PlotDirector notes. Okay, and let me see, do I want to append? Maybe. Nah, I'll just do a separate print string. So I'm going to drag this out, print a string, because it is literally a string. And now what will happen is, as long as we're in dev mode, this thing's constantly going to let me know where the player is. Okay, so let's come out of this and have a look at our settings. Now we know that this is set exactly over the door. Okay, so what I can do now is I can say front door of the lighthouse, or lighthouse. There we are. So front door of the lighthouse. So as soon as I cross this, I should be on the front door of the lighthouse. Now hopefully, I say hopefully, I should be able to play from here. Okay, so you can see those zeros there. Okay, that's because it's in dev mode. Now it's at front door of the lighthouse. Perfect. Okay, so it's messy, but it works. Later on, like I say, I'll be sending that probably to something else, but for the moment that is fine. Okay, so with it reading this, okay, we can then tell it to do an event. Okay, so maybe there's an event that we want it to do, something that is going to unhide, something it's going to hide, depending. So what should we have a look at for this? So blah 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 blah. Now this is the bit, you see, where I need to use my thinkings. So you're going to get to see me with my head down thinking. Meanwhile, here's some clouds and some pretties there. Have a look at the lighthouse. That'll cheer you up. Oh yeah. So line 1 and 2. Okay. You ever wondered exactly what goes on? Okay, this is like literally paper, books, you name it. So I'm going to be talking out loud to myself. Books. Okay, let's see if I can store this data the way that I want to. Now we know we have the plot director, so BP plot director is just there. Okay, now in PlotDirector we already have the control for dev mode, so what I need to do now is I need a structure in some way for which one's going to appear. So this will be by, see, this is what happened yesterday. My brain got so overwhelmed by the calculating I'm trying to do in my head that it literally shut down. And I ended up being like, just, oh, it's awful. Okay. So I need to think. Okay, so let me have a look at expanding this into structure and data tables, because I'm assuming that I can do this. So miscellaneous, and there's a data table. Need a structure though, so I can never remember where the bloody structures are. I know there's the data table. And there's other data tables stacked together. String table wrapper. Library of objects. Oh, force feedback. Structure, never mind. So this is my user defined structure. So struct plot director. Okay, so let's open that up. So member var. So this will be, let me see, NPC, and my NPC will be a blueprint. Or possibly an actor. Okay, and let's see, just a single individual actor, save. So now we have the ability to pick an actor from a scene. Next, in here, I'm going to go to my data tables. Pick a row structure, and we are going to pick, as you see there's a few of these, but we should have struct plot director. Curiously we have 2 plot directors. Let's have that one and click OK. Data plot director. Okay, so this is all starting to kind of sit in here now. So inside here we have this and the ability to add new stuff to it. So row 1 NPC, like so, save. So the idea is that I'd like to be able to add data to our data table containing the NPC information. Hello person whose name just, it doesn't say who said hello, curiously enough, it just says hello. Hello. It'd be nice if it told me who'd said hello, but hello. Right, it doesn't tell me who says hello. I'm going to have to do some editing on this to get that sorted. Anyway. Oh god. Oh, I'm only going to do this for another hour and then I'm going to have to rest my brain. Actually. This is a good point. Maybe I can do this without these. Let's try it without them. Not having to use a database would be a big benefit to me, to be honest. Hello, my friend, hello. Just call to let you know I think about you every night when I'm here at home and you're all alone. Hello. Right, so I have BPK mode, blah 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 blah. Fucking hell. So, just do that. And we're back here. Right, so what I want is, when I go through this, okay, and I've activated this by sending my PA location ID of, let's say, 1 for the front door. So I've got them to the front door, and now I would like my BA plot director just here to read the information coming from this and reinterpret it so that the correct item is hidden or unhidden. So what we need to do now is come out of this logging thing. Okay, we've done this dev mode, branch, blah 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 blah. So let's come out of it. Snap out of it. So what I want to do is I want to get a variable. So I'm going to get, let me see, get, and it's PlotDirector PA. So I'm getting the value of PlotDirector PA here. Okay. Now, what I need to do then is I need to put PlotDirector PA against a value based on what's going to be happening. Okay, so this is the trickier bit. Compile and save, because what I need to do now under my controls is I need to match up an NPC against ID1. Okay, so ID1 NPC. Okay, so make that visible. Now the purpose of ID1 NPC ideally would be that if I can get this flipping thing to work, should I be able to get an actor in this? There we go. Compile and save. Now then, if I can go to my plot director and pick an actor from a scene. So what I'd like to be able to do is pick my NPC here, which is probably this one. Doesn't let me do that. Okay, so that means I'd like to do is just unhide or hide a blueprint, really, so... Okay. She's busy out there. Okay, so what I need to do is I need to get a reference to other blueprint. So